Hey, howdy, everyone. Welcome back to what is going to be, almost certainly, a very exciting episode of AI the Somnium Files as we help a child recover through her trauma again. She looked like a small animal frightened by a predator. Would be too, buddy. Alright, Mizuki. About Ota. About Iris. About where it happened.
Mizuki must know. About Iris and Ota.
Of course. The news was distributed heavily across the internet. Not just in Japan, but worldwide. 3 days ago, Mizuki discovered her mother's body. 2 days ago, her father's. This morning, 2 of her best friends.
Yeah.
It is completely understandable that she is at her mental limit.
I agree.
Can I be left alone for a while?
Yeah, you got it, little buddy.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Aiba, contact Abyss. See if they can get Mizuki a good counselor.
Understood.
Okay. Oh. Well, I've got things I want to look at. Like this rabbit. Aw. How nice. This is a speaker? Okay. Oh yeah, I guess it is. You like music, Date? You listen to Van Halen on repeat? A school bag and a pipe. Why does she have a favorite metal pipe? What? I don't have a favorite metal pipe, should I? Why do we have the same clothes? Is fashion so uniform in the future? In anime future? What's in here? Oh, that's the way out. Okay, we'll go elsewhere. Let's go look at the warehouse. That seems like a good place to start. Might find some clues. Some kind of trail. Here on a Monday afternoon. The air conditioning wasn't running. Still cold, because it's made of ice. The temperature hadn't raised much at all. The cold air sunk into my skin. But the center of my body was burning hot. Very nice. Very poetic. Hello, Inspector. Anything? Yeah, we're looking at this blood. This is weird, man. This is wild. Is this Ota's blood? Could be. Makes sense. Cardboard box. Solid Snake. Are you in here? Oh, okay. Inspector, you got anything?
I checked this place point by point,
But didn't find nothing. Oil drum. That's garnered a lot of success in the past. Date, a key clue was found in an oil drum. What? Okay. Well, why is this cardboard box down, but those ones are up? Okay, you say so. Forklift? A forklift. I'm just trying to click on everything that might be relevant before the clearly relevant thing.
It has not been moved in some time.
Got ice all over it. Okay. Overhead crane. Okay, the
A
equipment.
video camera and laptop.
Uh-huh.
This is what the criminal used to stream.
Did they forget to wipe who is on there?
All of these items have been bought from pawn shops and thrift stores. It would be difficult to determine a suspect from them.
Well, it depends on how well they clean the hard drive. Come on now.
I have logged into the Wi-Fi in this warehouse.
That seems like a
Okura Fishery
mistake.
Co., Ltd. is listed as the owner. However, I found the password written directly on the router. Anyone who saw it could have used it.
That's how it
I have
goes.
done some research. As the name suggests, the company is owned by the Okiuras. The same Okiuras Renju's father created the company.
Okay.
Another connection to Renju.
Why is it all so
No,
closely
actually.
tied together?
Currently, Okiura Fishery has nothing to do with Renju. The company has been managed by office representatives for the past 17 years after Renju's father died.
Still, though.
Renju holds no shares and is not involved in the management.
This is clearly someone
In
who knows a lot of
Renju
history.
did not inherit the company from his father, and it was instead given to other persons.
But it can't be a coincidence.
It certainly is suspicious.
I agree. Okay. To the workbench.
Right here. Iris and Ota were
I am sure you are already aware of Ota's time of death,
just before I arrived. About 3:30 in the morning.
That's rough.
and the cause of death.
Right. About that. Ota had a stab wound from a kitchen knife in his side.
Correct.
What was the exact cause of death? Was it the knife wound or...
I cannot determine that. I can conclude that the knife wound was at least close to being fatal. Even if Ota was still alive on the workbench, he
Yeah,
was
because
certainly on the
that was...
verge of
I
death.
had that thought last time.
If he weren't already extremely weak, we would expect to see more signs of struggle.
Yeah, because, like, I think he may have already been dead before he got cut in half. Because who would have closed his eyes, you know? He would have already had to have been closing his eyes. The killer would have just left. I don't know if that really matters, but that's a detail that makes sense to me.
But why? Why did the culprit put the costume on Ota?
Unknown.
Or workbench. Or workbench? Oh, okay. Ice cutting machine.
Iris's estimated time
Boy,
of
they
death
really
and
like
cause of
showing
death
this
have been
stuff, huh?
confirmed. The video was not a recording. It was a live stream, filmed in real time.
Boy, we're gonna have to select not for
Which
kids
means
for
Iris'
this
time
one.
of death is 3:20 a.m.
So they died in pretty close proximity to each other. But we were already on the way, so that makes sense.
Iris also had her left eye removed.
Yeah.
And like Renju and Shoko, Iris's left eyeball has not been recovered.
This is so weird. Why wasn't Iris
Date,
doing
we should get
anything?
moving.
She was breathing so heavily.
Officers from the local jurisdiction are checking the warehouse thoroughly.
She was
We will not
breathing
find
so
anything of
heavily. Why
importance
wasn't
here.
she fighting?
Yeah.
Was
you're
she,
right.
like, sedated or something?
You can ask CSI to inform you if they find anything.
Yes, I would like to know.
All right.
Okay, anything else I can click on? Because I don't have my map, so there's clearly still something to... Vector? Oh, I'm heading out. I always do this. That could have been assumed, video game. You didn't literally need me to tell them. A cutscene? Interesting. Oh, it's not a cutscene. Hello there, Pewter. He walked up to me while I was trying to work it out.
Date, I have to talk to you about something.
Okay.
Huh?
About the original Cyclops serial killings.
And how I did them?
Why this all of a sudden?
Because I want you to solve this case, Mr. Date. I want you to find who did this and bring them to justice.
Yeah, I'm in.
So, if I can help you, even a little.
Why didn't you say anything at Abyss?
The boss was there. I couldn't speak openly in front of her.
Uh-huh.
So, I decided to meet you here.
Where no one can hear
All right.
us.
Let's hear it.
Earlier, I told you that I was completely certain the original Cyclops Killer couldn't have committed these crimes.
Right, because it's me.
I am absolutely certain the original Cyclops Killer could not have
He
committed these
just
crimes.
said this!
Let me explain why. I'll start by telling you the identity of the Cyclops Killer.
Because it's me.
Although, it's more accurate to say killers.
One of them is me.
More than one?
In the first series of killings, the culprit had an accomplice.
Who was me?
One of them was born a murderous psychopath. The other is Rohan Kumakura, the previous chairman of the Kumakuras. They each had a role to play. The murderer committed the homicide, and Rohan removed the eyeball.
Interesting. Who's the murderous psychopath?
He was born with a brain dysfunction. Due to damage to the posterior pituitary gland, he was unable to properly secrete oxytocin.
Oxytocin is a peptide hormone linked to feelings of love, affection, and trust. It is colloquially referred to as the love hormone. It
This is the
causes a
pseudoscience
tranquilizing
we
effect
love Spike
which improves
Chunsoft
mood
for.
and relieves stress. It is normally secreted when the body makes contact with an object of affection.
I'm sure you know what this implies, but he was unable to feel love in the way that we do.
And naturally, because
However,
they did that,
he was
they
able to experience a substitute.
murdered.
His brain was
Of course.
wired in such a way that allowed him to feel satisfaction through other means. Due to the unique idiosyncrasies of his brain, he was able to release large amounts of dopamine and endorphins by performing a certain action.
Murder.
Murder.
Dopamine is a hormone linked to the rewards. The
Yeah,
pleasant feeling attained through accomplishment is dopamine.
Okay.
Endorphins are a kind of brain narcotic. They dull pain and create a feeling of happiness.
Yep.
He got pleasure from killing people?
It's slightly more complicated than that. Killing people was the only way he could get pleasure.
Jesus.
He was 12 when he took his first life. That enlightened him to the pleasure of murder, which he would do again and
I
again.
can't believe they would just say this about me. About Rohan.
18 years ago, Rohan took a woman's eye. She was already dead. He put his finger into her eye socket and gouged it out. The reason why was simple.
Oh my god.
He was fascinated by women's eyes.
Why?
Their beauty stimulated his greed and his desire to possess them. He needed to have them, to make them his own.
This guy was way
Driven
into
by
true
this
crime.
instinctive
Computer,
impulse,
before he became a
took
cop.
the woman's eye. From then on, he acquired a grotesque obsession with the eyes of dead women. He was very particular about his need that the eye belonged to a deceased woman. But even being the head of a Yakuza gang, there weren't too many opportunities for him to indulge. His deepest, darkest desire went unfulfilled for years. However, he soon met his ideal partner, the aforementioned psychopath. The Cyclops Killer would commit the murder, and Rohan would take the eye. Thus, a mutually beneficial relationship was established. This was the origin of the Cyclops serial killings. At about the same time, you were assigned to Abyss.
Why'd they get classified?
That, I don't know.
The details of the original Cyclops serial killings case have become nebulous over time.
Why?
Even the official investigation material contains nothing of value. I am unable to draw any conclusions from them.
You
I think
really
you're
have
lying
no
to me.
idea?
If I did, I would tell you.
Summarize for me, Pewter.
The original Cyclops Killer had an accomplice,
There were two Cyclops killers.
and one of them was the
That's a
former chairman of
Cyclops
the
Killer.
Kumakuras, Rohan Kumakura.
Rohan committed suicide by jumping to his death 1 year ago.
That means... Pewter, tell me this.
Am I the
One of the
Cyclops
original
Killer?
killers is dead, I know that. But that means one remains. Who is he?
After his fourth murder, he was arrested by the police. They actually picked him up on other charges. But, in any case, he is currently serving a life sentence in Fuchu prison.
Fuchu prison?
Yes.
What's his name?
In prison, he doesn't have a name. He is simply called Number 89.
Number 89.
I know who killed Shogun Adami.
So, now you know why I said that. That the original Cyclops Killer couldn't have committed these crimes. Because one is dead, and the other is behind bars. Neither of them had the opportunity.
Then why wouldn't you have gone public with this? Okay, let's go to the Matsushita Diner. Let's go console Ota's mother. Jesus, Dante. Date, not Dante. What is this, the Divine Comedy? Do you want to talk about it? I'm sorry to interrupt.
This is your fault.
It's...
I heard from the police. Because you didn't take care of Iris, my boy Ota got involved.
Date, I looked into the investigation report. Mayumi confirmed Ota's body early this morning.
I see.
I'm sorry. I want to be alone right now.
Are you aware your son tased me?
Did you not hear me? I said leave!
You got it. Hope I never see you
Date,
again.
She is in no state to talk.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's go talk to Iris's mom. She seems more reasonable. The Sagan residence. I would also share that sentiment. Okay. But after that, I couldn't say a single word. The heavy silence weighed on both of us. You want to say anything?
Iris was my everything. We always went everywhere together.
I get it.
Whether it was buying clothes, or going to the movies, or taking a walk, or going shopping at the supermarket. When she was young, she would just hold one of my fingers. Her hand was too small to hold mine. Then it was 2, then 3, and finally she could hold my hand. But eventually, she left my hands altogether. She started crossing her arms, being independent, even though she needed constant attention growing up.
Let's just keep
Her
going.
memories are a part of this room. And always will be. When she was a baby, she fell off that sofa and cried and cried. One day she tore up her picture book all over the floor here. Another time she drew with crayons all over the window. She painted my portrait on Mother's Day. Scratches on the floor, chipped plates, burn marks on the table, stains on the cushions. Everything you see. It all holds a memory of her. But why?
That's what I want to find out. Anything about Ota?
Ota was one of my students.
What?
I taught him in elementary school.
Oh, okay.
I heard it from the police. Ota tried to help Iris and ended up... I don't know what to say. I have no words.
Do you have anything?
Hitomi,
Anything at all?
my entire focus is on this case. Is there anything at all you can tell me?
I don't know if this is important, but
No, please, tell me.
I may have told you this already. I met Renju's wife Shoko twice before. The first time at the wedding, the second time a month ago. That second time, was in the waiting room of the prison.
Prison?
There's an acquaintance of mine from when we were younger. I visit them a few times a year. And by coincidence, I saw Shoko. I don't think she noticed me, but I recognized her as Renju's wife right away.
What was she
was there
doing
for
there?
the same reason I was, to visit one of the inmates.
Ooh.
Do you know who?
No, I don't. We didn't talk.
Which prison?
Fuchu Prison.
Oh,
in
well,
Tokyo.
well.
Fuchu.
Prison.
I'm sorry to have bothered you. I'll be going now.
Okay. Well, okay. Yeah, I feel it.
I don't know what to do. Thinking about her. Dante, please, you have to catch them.
I'm gonna do it.
Please. Please.
I will. Trust me.
Let's go to Marble. Mama, you got anything? Anyone come by?
Are you okay, honey?
Huh?
About last night. Well, at 3 in the morning, anyway.
You know about it?
It's on every channel. You have the face of a ghost. Do you want a glass?
I don't need a drink. I need information.
That's true.
Do you have anything?
Well, let's see. I do have... I suppose you could call it intuition.
Oh, what's your
Tell me.
intuition?
The Kumakuras are involved in this case.
Seems likely.
Remember what I told you before? That there's a relationship between Ren and the Kumakuras? Shoko also has a relationship with them.
This I know.
You know about her dealings with the Kumakuras, right?
So basically, 2 of the victims are linked to the Kumakuras. That must mean they're involved somehow, right?
Not 2, 3.
3?
3. Iris?
No, not that one. The boy.
Ota? What is
He came here last
Ota?
night.
Ota?
Yes, from Matsushita Diner. He's linked to the Kumakuras as well.
In what way?
Have you heard the rumor?
Okay. 8 years ago, So sold his land in the district for a bunch of money. Half a year later, an explosion at the plant caused all the land prices to drop, and he bought back the land for way less money. Yes. I think it was pretty obvious he conspired to make this happen.
The Kumakuras own a handful of real estate companies. They of course look legit, but they're Yakuza fronts. I'll call those real estate companies the KE to keep it simple for you. The KE followed in So's footsteps. They bought up land in Kawasaki.
Okay. And did what with it?
Now, back to So. Have you heard of the plans for the casino in Kawasaki?
No.
So was the one who came up with it.
I was born and raised in Kawasaki. I remember the landscape of my childhood, and I loved it dearly. But look at Kawasaki now.
Filth
When I see
hole.
images of the destruction on television, my heart aches like it's being chopped to pieces. But I promise you, I will revive the Kawasaki district at any cost.
Sounds like politician
Casino
stuff.
Town Kawasaki will give new life to the city.
Yeah, that's what happens in casino
After that,
cities.
so
They bring new
moved
life.
fast.
That's what they do.
He submitted the bills he needed to the National Assembly after drumming up support in the right places. The bills passed, and it became an official government initiative.
Decontamination efforts therefore increased at a rapid pace in the Kabasaki district. At the moment, the area is still considered off limits. However, the air in Kabasaki is currently purified to such an extent that it has no negative effect on the human body.
If the plan goes smoothly, land prices in Kabasaki are going to skyrocket. And all that land is owned by the KE, and by So himself. The land he bought back for $1 billion will be worth 10 times that soon.
He's involved in some shady business.
Uh-huh.
This is just another rumor, but the chemical plant exploding was no accident. It was done intentionally.
By
That's
So and the
obvious.
Kumakuras, you mean?
But there's no hard evidence of that. It's just gossip.
And intuition. So how is Ota connected
What
to
were
all
we
of
talking
this?
about?
Ota and the Kumakuras.
Oh, right. You know how Matsushita Diner is close to the Kabasaki district?
Sure.
The chemical plant explosion made times hard. Foot traffic went down, sales declined.
Oh,
No wonder
really?
it closed down. Ota must hold a grudge. Someone caused that explosion. And if it was intentional, oh, he'd hate them even more. That's how I link Ota to the Kumakuras.
Oh, okay. Okay, sure. I thought he owed them
Thank
money
you,
or something.
Mama. I don't know if what you told me will lead to anything, but...
It will.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to waste your time.
No, it was very helpful.
I'm glad I can help, even if it's just a little.
Well then, be seeing you.
Come back anytime.
Alright, off to the prison then? Oh, Abyss headquarters. Alright, sure. Alright, the boss. Is she in hiding
Where did
from
she
me?
go?
Well, she isn't always here, correct?
True.
I sat down in my seat and waited. Oh yes, what
What
do
are you
want?
doing?
I thought it would be easier to talk like this.
What do we
Okay.
have to talk about?
A summary of the investigation, perhaps?
What summary? We don't have anything new.
That's not true.
Huh?
I was curious, so I did some research about number 89.
Oh? Who are they? Who is 89?
As you know, he is an assassin with multiple confirmed kills. He is currently serving a sentence at Fuchu Prison. He was imprisoned 6 years ago.
Uh-huh.
That's what Pewter told us.
After his fourth murder, he was arrested by the police.
Just did this. What's his real name?
Unknown.
You don't know?
No such person is listed in the family registry. It is possible he is a foreigner, but his nationality is unknown. However,
Still
I
me.
believe it is safe to say that he was born and raised in Japan.
Just like Date. What's the relationship between them?
Unknown. I cannot determine if they have any connection. Approximately 1 month ago, Hitomi Sagan witnessed Shoko in Fuchu Prison's waiting room.
Uh-huh.
I am unable to say for certain that the person she was there to visit was number 89. After all, Fuchu Prison houses 2,000 inmates.
A lot of prisoners.
But number 89 knew Shoko's name.
I know who killed Shogunadami.
That must mean that he knew her somehow.
It is possible.
Okay. And what about the new click?
Pewter
killings?
claims that there were 2 culprits behind the original serial killings. One was the former chairman of the Kumakuras, Rohan Kumakura.
But Rohan committed suicide last year.
Why?
That leaves 1 culprit still alive, number 89.
But number 89 couldn't possibly have committed these crimes. He was in jail when each of the murders occurred.
Uh-huh.
Correct. However, I do not believe it is accurate to claim that he had nothing to do with the incident.
And why is that?
I know who killed Shogunadami.
If he was telling the truth, his involvement is possible.
Then let's go talk to him.
Let's talk to number 89.
All right. However, we need not go to him. We can bring him to us.
Why? What?
If we plan on syncing with him, it would be more efficient.
Can you arrange that?
I can.
Interesting. He took considerable time to arrive, but for some reason, Boss never showed. Ooh! How very interesting. Yeah, you're the guy I saw in my dream, right?
Sorry to interrupt your busy day, but I need you to tell me something. I'd appreciate your cooperation.
Okay. What's your name?
Number 89.
Your real name.
I don't remember.
Cool. Where are you from?
Burkina Faso.
Oh,
Burkina
yeah?
Faso is a republic in West Africa.
I don't have time for your jokes.
Okay. You're the original Cyclops Killer, aren't you?
That's right. I was one of the culprits behind the case 6 years ago. One of the 2 Cyclops Killers.
Do you know Shoko Nadami?
Yeah, I guess I do.
About a month ago, Shoko visited Fuchu prison. Was she there to see you?
That's right.
What did you talk about?
Nothing special.
You're in no position to lie.
I'm not lying. She didn't come to hear me talk.
Then why did she come?
To meet me.
Meet you?
She probably just wanted to see me.
What a weird thing. When did you first meet her?
A long time ago. I don't remember exactly when.
What's your relationship to her?
A physical one.
Cool.
I'm kidding. She was just a business partner.
Oh, alright. I'd believe either one.
Alright. Let's get right down to it. 2
Who killed
days
her,
ago,
then?
you called Investigation HQ and said, I know who killed Shoko Nadami.
That's right.
Who?
Hey, don't be so hasty. We haven't agreed on a deal. You're gonna let me out of prison, right?
It's done. You've got a deal.
All right. But to explain it properly, I need to tell you a story.
Ooh, I love stories.
It might take some time. Is that all right with you?
I've got nothing but time.
Then let's get started.
Fun.
The story of a lonely assassin. Once upon a time, there was a detective, full of righteous justice. Let's call him F. F found the evils of the world intolerable. F had no parents, no siblings, and grew up in an orphanage since he was born. He suffered every kind of abuse imaginable there. It led him to despise all the evils of the world. One day, F was chasing a thug down at the harbor. Someone wanted for the assault and murder of women.
Okay, I get it. I'll just throw down my knife. Here.
Into your stomach!
And you lower your gun. It's fine. I got nothing else on me. I'll go quietly. You know, I have a history with hospitals. I've been going to a special hospital for a while. Even if I get caught, it's all good. I'll come right back out again. What should I do next time? Just thinking about it gets me excited.
Flashing lights, I suppose.
The culprit was unarmed, but F never served a day in prison. The case went to trial for some time, but it was determined to be self-defense, and he was declared innocent.
Relevant.
If the truth got out, it would be a huge scandal for the police. People at the upper level were terrified of what might happen, so they had evidence fabricated. F
Horrible.
wasn't suspended or disciplined at all. After a while, he returned to his job like nothing happened. That was a turning point for him. He was ready to shed the morality that was weighing him down, holding him back. F still wanted justice, and he was willing to dispense it to the immoral one by one. He became an assassin, a lone gunman, no agent, no employer. He was his own man. F believed that he was judge, jury, and executioner, but it didn't last long. One day, F got rid of a criminal we'll call X. X was responsible for defrauding and killing an innocent old man for his life insurance policy. Turns out, X had connections. Someone wasn't happy that he died. Rohan Kumakura, chairman of the Kumakuras. X was a top executive of the Kumakuras at the time. Rohan ordered his men to find and kidnap F.
I've done some research. I know you've cleaned up at least 18 pieces of scum from this earth.
Interesting.
But somehow there hasn't been a single criminal investigation. They're all treated as suicides, accidents, or natural causes.
So far, this doesn't line up with what Pewter told us about having no oxytocin in his brain. I would think someone who can't experience love does not also then get to experience morality. But we'll keep going.
Amazing work. I'm impressed. How about you work for us? Of course, you have the right to say no. But it'll be the last word out of your mouth.
F was trapped. Even if he somehow survived, he would be looking over his shoulder for the rest of his life. He had no choice but to take Rohan's offer. Thus, F's self-employment came to an end. He became a hired gun of the Kumakuras. Rohan even gave him a code name, Falco, named for the falcon, a bird of prey. Falco didn't quit his job as a police officer, though. He worked as a detective by day, assassin by night, at the will of the organization. An ordinary killer would need motive to take a life, not Falco. He did as he was told, one target after another.
Bam!
It
Bam,
didn't
bam.
take long to destroy his heart completely. Time passed, and a few years back, Falco, who by this time was exhausted in body and spirit, made a fatal mistake. He missed his mark and ended up taking a bullet to the stomach. Somehow he managed to escape. After reaching a nearby shrine, his legs finally gave out under him. He had no strength left. He put his back up against the shrine and let out a moaning breath that he thought might be his last. But at that moment, in his darkening vision, he saw a woman approach him. He watched her take out her phone and dial for help. At the same time, he heard footsteps. Footsteps of at least 2 people closing in. He knew immediately that they were after him. He sprung into action, grabbing the woman and pulling her close, kissing her to keep her from talking.
Interesting choice.
That was the first encounter between Falco and the woman. She was a teacher at some school. It was like she was from a totally different world than him. Listening to her talk, he would forget everything about his line of work. She was his only contact with the ordinary, mundane world. They met in secret a few more times, and Falco felt his heart grow warmer. Her smile and kindness were like a cold glass of water for Falco's parched heart. Falco started to become himself again, his former self. He swore on his life that from then on, he would live for her.
So, you want to go clean? Fine. Do as you please. You've done a lot for us. But there is one last thing. One final job I want you to do for me.
It's always
It's
one final
nothing
job.
major. This woman and her daughter. I need you to dispose of them.
And it's Shoko and Mizuki.
Should be simple, no?
Or is it
Rohan
Hitomi
handed
and
Falco
Iris?
a picture of a woman and a girl. It was the teacher Falco met at the shrine. And her daughter. She had just turned 12.
Hitomi and Iris.
Why the two of them? Rohan, as usual, never gave a reason. And Falco had no intention of carrying out the kill. But if he didn't, he knew that someone else would. He thought long and hard. How was he going to keep them safe and get out of the life of crime? He couldn't find an answer, no matter how hard he thought. He was backed into a corner. So, he decided to call on an old friend for help. And then...
Silence. For some reason, wouldn't open his mouth again. I think he called Date for help. Because this lines up with the dream. Because this is the man we saw, I think. Why'd you stop?
Why did you stop?
Okay. Was that the whole story?
Was that the whole story?
You mentioned a detective?
You mentioned a detective.
What's the connection between that and Shoko?
What's the connection between that and Shoko?
Okay, then who killed Shoko?
Answer me.
We made a deal here, bucko.
This is a transaction, remember? Until I get a guarantee that you'll uphold your end of the bargain, I'm not telling you anything else. I'll give you half up front, half later.
This isn't a hit, 89.
If you want to hear the rest of my story, you better start the release procedures. Once they've cleared, I'll tell you everything.
Date, it is unlikely that number 89 will uphold his promise,
Clearly.
even upon release.
Pewter,
Yes?
start the preparations.
For what?
What do you think? The sink.
We're gonna go into his horrible, nasty little brain. That story is awful weird and doesn't line up with what Pewter told us at all.
I have injected number 89 with the usual dosage. He will not be waking up anytime soon. Are you ready, Agent Date?
I was born ready.
Time limit is 6 minutes.
I know.
Then let's begin.
We're going into the brain pool. I love the brain pool. Oh boy, and we've been going a little while here. So I think I'll go ahead and call it as soon as we get
Sup?
control. Oh, cool.
No, not
All right.
sup. Why are you sleeping on the job?
Because I want to, obviously.
Why are you getting mad at me?
Yeah, this rug feels so good on my skin, yeah?
Why are you suddenly a cat?
Playtime's over. Let's begin.
Then stand up.
Comedy's
Is
hard.
this the Sagan residence?
They're not all gonna
Definitely
hit,
is.
you know?
But why?
Number 89. What were you up to?
Hello.
What?
He's exploded into Jello.
The green. I do not think I can pass through it.
Really wants to hide it, huh? Okay, new plan.
Somnium scan. Activate.
Kublam! Interlock 1. Mental Lock 2. Mental Lock 3. Mental Lock 4. Okay, 4 mental locks.
This appears to correspond to the green thing.
All right. All right, and with that, we will call it here. A lower profile episode. Lots of sad people. Learned a lot of new information. But we will all have a great time here when we continue on our next adventure. Boy, I'm still not convinced. There's a lot of details that don't add up with this Cyclops killing thing. Number 89 sold a story that lines up with our own memories, but not with what Pewter told us. So, I don't know what's going on there, because 89 didn't also mention Rohan and the eyes or anything. So yeah, lots of interesting thoughts going around. I still think I'm right, but we'll see if I continue to be wrong. Please leave a comment if you also think that I'm right, or if I'm wrong. But I probably shouldn't read those. Don't leave those. I'll see you all in the next one.